Okay, this is the rear hub assembly system for the Ford Transit Mk7 long wheelbase Doris. What we're going to do today is assemble the new hub, which has already got the bearing pressed into it, which I'll show you in a sec, to the new disc assembly. Okay, and the nuts that fit into these 5 little holes. Now the nuts, or the bolts, sorry, which you can see are, if it'll focus, that's the product number from Ford if you need to buy these. Okay, these are M10 studs for the rear hub assembly, and they are, as you can see there, 0.93 inches long. Okay, so 0.93 inches in length, and they have the total length, because I still work in old school, is 1.4, and the head itself is 0.39 inches in depth, and that is to seat inside this little bit here. Okay, they have to sit flush, obviously, because the wheel sits flush to this particular face. So the new hub system, which I'll get the product details for, has this flange built in to press against the inside race of the bearing. Okay, I'll leave product descriptions for all of this in the video link below. Now, as promised, so this is the reverse side, so this is the bearing, this is the inner race. Now you have to be careful when you buy these. My stub axles that this fits over has been changed at some point in its life from the 37mm stub axle, so that size there, which it should be on manufacture, to a 44mm, as you can see, stub axle, which is what's now fitted. So I've had to source these ones specially because of the size of this. So you need to check the diameter of your stub axle before you buy these. So all the stuff that I'm putting on the description for these particular things are for this setup on a 44mm stub axle, not a 37. So the product code won't necessarily be the same. The connecting bolts will be, the discs will be, but not these. So you need to make sure that you got them correct. So don't rely just on the product codes that I put down. Bear in mind, this is for a 44mm stub axle setup. And this is your bearing. It's pre-pressed into the hub when you buy it, which does make life very easy because these are a pig to get out. Okay, I'll just set this one up, and then we'll have 2 rear bearing, rear wheel hub assemblies plus discs all ready to go back onto Doris, which will be in the morning. And then I've had to take them off so that I could get this diameter. So the dismantling process is the reverse, basically, of what I'm doing now. I had to buy new hubs because I could not get them out of the existing hub, even though there was nothing wrong with them. But it does say in all of the books, Haynes included, to use new ones of these when fitting discs. But these, as I said, you can only get through a Ford outlet. But that is the product code that you need, that one there. Okay, so the assembly, very simply, is make sure all your mating surfaces are nice and clean, and then your hub, which is quite heavy, just sits inside. Not easy to do with one hand, like so. You hear the clunk of it seating properly. And all you need to do is just make sure that these studs align cleanly. Okay, what you'll need is a T50 star to wind these in. Okay, and they get torqued up to 70 Newton meters. Okay, so you will need a torque wrench to do it. Okay, so start them nicely by hand. I am in my indoor workshop, or the kitchen as it's known, because it's quite cold outside, so I thought I'd come inside. So that's these started up. Okay, they are pre-thread locked by the manufacturer, which is that blue coating, so they are high tensile steel bolts. Okay, so you just hand wind them in as far as you can, T50, and you've got to do them up in a star pattern. So it's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So you have to go around in that type of shape. You just do them up all evenly and then go back round and torque them in the same pattern. And that way you can ensure that you've got them all nicely seated, all nice and correct. Okay, so we'll come on to that bit next. I'll just wind them so that they're flush, and then we'll torque them up. Okay, so as you can see on the torque wrench, we have set it to 70 Newton meters on the 0, and then all you do, and this is going to be very difficult to do one-handed, so I've done this one. Okay, so you need a bar to press against it. Okay, and then all you do is carefully, and you'll hear the torque wrench, double click, and that's it torqued to 70 Newton meters. Okay, so you go round all of the studs. As I said, I've wound them all in, and that in a star pattern, and that torque them all up. That's that disc hub assembly ready to go. You just repeat the same process for the other side. Okay, so this is the disc brakes that I bought. These came from Eurocarparts. So that's the product number from car parts for Isha Fords, which is the discs. And then I'm lucky enough to have a stud gun, but it's not for everybody. And then the bearing hubs came from True Part, and that's the part number. This came from eBay. Very good customer service on these guys, but bear in mind, as I said before, these do not come with the bolts to connect to the discs or new hub nuts. You need to get them separately from Fords. Okay,